welcome back everybody. Today I just want to take a quick moment and kind of give you what my daily routine looks like, break down some of the daily events, and just go over overall basics. And if there are strategies for each one, I'll kind of emphasize those as I go. But just overall things you want to make sure you're doing on a daily basis so you're not missing out on any of the resources and or gold or whatever it might be, experience that you could be taking advantage of here for you. So under your event button, you're going to have your daily events in the first tab up here, okay? So it's going to look a little different when your day starts because you're not going to have anything completed, and your status bar or whatever you want to call this over here is going to have many different quests for you. Rule number one for me, and I'm not going to call them rules, forget that because there's too many, but make sure you always do your guild quest, because you really want those points to go ahead and be able to use your guild lab and increase a plethora of skills there for you, as fast as possible. And then on top of that, you use those points, or can use those points through your guild to go ahead and actually acquire some basic essences and some sprightlies for you if you're at the point where you're capped out, or you just want to need some in a pinch, right? You can get an extra 38 a day there, not overall a ton, and they are relatively expensive for points, but it's still there for you and it's nice to have, okay? Make sure you do your daily quests. By doing your guild quest and then your daily quest, upon completion, you get 5 treasure maps, basic treasure maps for each one of those completions. So every day you're going to get 10 treasure maps, which will help you complete your other game modes, because it always says here treasure excavation master. You'll always require those. So if you've been saving up and worried about having them or not having them, don't worry, you're going to get 10 a day, okay? So as long as you do your daily and guild quest, you're going to have what you need to go ahead and accomplish that. Of course, you're going to slay 300 monsters, so you'll grab an extra 10 rubies there, whatever it gives you. And that's the whole point of doing these, is to grind out and re-up the rubies you spend or are going to spend, and most certainly going to spend once you start increasing your VIP level and getting stronger and doing other events that require some of the resources and rubies to be able to do properly. Mercenary Quest, at your discretion. They give you experience in gold, okay, and it will show you here what the difference do. Reward rate 3 times, quest reward shows you the amount here, and the next time this levels up, we'll show you at the next level, okay? So, same thing for so on and so forth. So the better the quest or the scrolls, the better you're going to get, but again, it's money and experience. So is it worth spending a ton of rubies in the store to grab, purple or rare or whatever you want to call it, vouchers to go ahead and craft epic vouchers? Depending. Only for me if it's an event, like, where you get points for doing so many S-grade mercenary quests. However, do what you can, right? Always do them, because any free experience in gold is great, whether you're using it to upgrade your skills or you're trying to roll for the spirit realm, whatever it's going to be, just make sure you go ahead and do them. You can activate 2, 3, 4, depending on your VIP level at the same time. Let them automate, just let them get it done, and life goes on. But it's an easy win there for you. Now in the arena, this is pretty self-explanatory as well, but a couple things I want to go over. The exchange shop is another nice bonus here, where you can get some Elysian weapons along with your basic soul stones for your artifact. But on top of that, what it really does increase your overall reputation, and then you go ahead and get money here for you. Personally, I took some gear off and let some other people beat me, so I want everybody to get number 1 here for us, so we can get everybody on our server the reward for doing so. And on the other side, for the Glory Heaven, it just shows what, the top 3 ranking. That's all. Not a big deal there for you. So pretty cut and dry. You get 10 attempts. If you are significantly stronger than the one you're fighting, you will not have to battle them, okay? So for the most part, and if I'm really not feeling doing this, and I don't care if I'm 4th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 5th, whatever, I'll just go ahead, collect my daily reward, click this button 10 times until it pops up and says I'm done, and then I'm good to go, okay? You can refresh opponents if you don't like it. They only fluctuate 1 or 2 spots when you're this high, but you may come across one that's kind of mismatched in the middle of things, so just kind of refreshing and see what you can't mix up there for you. Now, on the Spirit Realm, this is a fantastic event. You can unlock different chapters based on how far your level is, and it'll tell you at the bottom, or it should say, I apologize, it used to, but it'll tell you what you can and can't do. So it sees here I can't go to the next chapter until I reach level 800, which is really 300 on the special levels or the blue levels for you. But and I wish I could show you, but if you click on one that you haven't beaten, there's 3 tiers of stars, and you can get 3 refreshes a day to try to increase them to 9 stars, which is the maximum stars you can get from each floor. And the whole point here is to collect as many stars as possible. Now, you can use rubies to go ahead and just get 9 automatically. The other thing to keep in mind, there are 3 sets of 3, and once one set of 3 goes to 3, it'll never fall back down. So if you have 5 and one of them are at 3, the worst you can go back down to is 5, right? Because it's going to be 3, 1, and 1. If you have 7, same concept. You're going to have 2, theoretically, you have 2 across the board that are fully filled, and then 1 on the bottom. Those other 2 will not go down, okay? So don't worry about that. It's kind of a nice little perk there for you. But the rewards for this contest are relatively great. So if you start looking through it, Chapter 1, you got some gems and a whole ton of experience, okay? And the chapter rewards are pretty cool, but the star rewards are really where, it starts coming in handy. So let me kind of go back to the beginning here. So off the start, and imagine you're not maybe as advanced as you are now, grabbing 100 soul stones, 120 soul stones, some level 6 gems, that's a pretty good reward. As you get to 120, you start getting to the feathers and the souls. And then 180, you get a free mythic stone. I mean, that's really cool. And then you grab some relic stones, which are used to craft 1, 2, or 3 star, or I should say 1 star relics. 2 and 3 take advanced ones, but regardless, nice to have. Some more really rare souls to upgrade here for you. And then you start getting into, level 3 feather, a mythic weapon stone, 800 mythic pieces here to craft whatever armor you want, perfect defensive stones, so on and so forth. So these rewards are really, really nice and a nice extra bonus. And even as you get into the higher levels, like I'm about to go into for the next chapter, you're looking at, relics, right? So that's pretty crazy. So for instance, there's 9 per level, there's 10 floors, so there's 90 per chapter, okay? So with that being said, when I complete the next chapter, not only will I get 3 flawless Firely gems, okay, I'm also going to get every relic, well, I shouldn't say every relic, but 3 of the 4 relics on top of that, which are extremely rare and hard to find. So definitely big perk and bonus there for you. I'm super excited about the next chapter, but it does progressively get harder. The whole level of these floors is there's 3 bosses per floor. They get progressively harder, and each boss you have a set amount of time to beat. Let's just say 2.5 minutes. Once you beat the first one, you go to the next, on and so forth. You beat all 3 in the allotted time per boss, you gain those stars that you had achieved before or rolled before you went ahead and took the start of the level. So for me, I don't play them until I have 9 stars. Now, I don't usually spend rubies doing it. I'll be patient, especially at this point in the game, because it takes a lot of BR and strength to be able to complete these. So I know that I have time to go ahead and spend it. But you can, and you will, spend millions and millions and millions of gold rolling to get 9 stars here for you. So what I did when I was progressing through this, if I was going to do this event, I would not upgrade any skills in the morning. I would use all the money I had to roll my stars, and then whatever I had left over after completing this event, then I would use that for my skills. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Don't upgrade all your skills and go try to do this and you have no money and you're spending rubies and it's just a bad time. Warrior Guard, best friend for the basic enhanced stones. Pretty cut and dry. You do it, you fight waves of monsters, and the higher you get, the more stones you get. After you go ahead and beat those levels, every day you can grab that many basic enhanced stones. Also, you see this bar that I'm spinning up top. As you get through certain thresholds, you will go ahead and grab those extra rewards. Okay, so you're going to grab some name cards, you're going to grab the Galaxy Guardian costume and a ton of pieces for it. Weapon, the same thing, the Guardian weapon. Some cool extra things here for you, right? Oh, and I have one here. So just by getting to that level, I got an extra, I didn't even look. What was it? 13, 16, 26 of the advanced enhanced stones. So that's really cool because that's quite a bit of, it's what, 100 or so of the regulars. So with that being said, pretty cut and dry as well, but a nice thing to always grind out. Tower of Legend is where you're going to get your cards from. Your daily reward will come through based on your overall level. You can go ahead and claim it, and it'll just give you whatever cards you have for that day. And then you can go ahead and challenge if you want to and continue on and go up, okay? Not anything spectacular there, but just something that you can go ahead and do to get the most out of your day. Experience instances, always do. Use at least one experience potion and use your gold to increase your attack. And if you have an imp, definitely make sure he's equipped. And then these are the way you're going to get the most experience and level up the fastest. If you can through VIP, purchase the extra tickets, unless you're just a very patient person and like grinding it out, because it does make a big difference over time in how fast you level up. Boss hunt, this could be anything from world bosses to personal bosses to sacred or secret chamber bosses to whatever, right? You kill 5 of them, you complete that award, okay? It's really just a chest full of usually equipment that's completely pointless, but just make sure you do it. The Tyrant Portal, check that out. That's part of my God Soul video. I'll probably make a video of actually doing it so you can see the strategy of it, but I won't go too deep of detail here for you. Offline automation is going to be, this takes you right to the settings, right, where you can choose what you want. Wilderness will just be able to choose a specifically world map and I guess enemy you want to fight in case there's a specific one for, let's just say, a Tower of Legend card or an item you're trying to go ahead and acquire. Okay, Elysian and Elf instances are the easiest way and the best way to acquire quick, easy resources for these guys. So based on the level of completion for your SS or the fastest allotted time requirement, you can go ahead and blitz them, meaning you don't have to actually do the event, and you can purchase more based on your VIP level. Now, keep in mind, you don't necessarily, for me right now, I'm actually grabbing not these, but these. Just keep in mind you're getting the ones you actually need to level up your stuff. Just because you get here, you don't necessarily need advanced if you're still waiting on the the medium ones to go ahead and get your Elysian Sprite, whatever it is, to the level that you need, so then you can use the advanced. So use at your discretion, but definitely very, very useful. So kind of cool thing here, you can burn through a lot of these. The Elf and Elysian instance, you can blitz those. The Warrior Guard, you're literally clicking in and clicking blitz. You get your stones. Tower of Legend, you hop in, you get your rewards, you're done. Arena, you hop in, you get your rewards, you click the easy enemy on the left 10 times, you're done, okay? So half of these you can just right through without even, spending 5 minutes on. All right, and that's kind of the whole concept, especially in alternate characters. You at least want to hop on and do these, and I'll tell you why. Because the resources recovered, minus the gems you're going to get, or minus quality of play, meaning if you're in a Tower of Legend and you knock out, you're going to gain more ruins, etc. from them. They will pop up here the next day, and you can always click the gold recovery tab, and you can purchase the rewards you missed. So you don't even have to do the events, and you're still going to get the rewards with exception, right? So if you really can't get on, any given day for an extended period of time, at least get on, burn through the things I just mentioned, and make sure you come back and collect the resources recovered after that, okay? Group events, the Abysmal Dungeon, super easy, definitely needs to be upgraded because it stops at level 500 difficulty, which is pointless gear, but I do it just to do it. The Hunting Ground is where you're going to go ahead and grab your purifying stones The harder the difficulty, the more purifying stones. You literally run around a map, find where the bosses are, and kill them. I'll probably make a quick episode on that. Maybe my wife and I will do it together. The Endless Tower, each difficulty has 8 floors, and you progress through if you kill them in the allotted time. This is where you're going to get your ruins to upgrade your skills, and you get an abundance of them at higher levels. So not a big deal. Limited events, this is where you're going to grab your daily events that are either on the server, guild events, things like that. So as you can see, Monday to Friday, so every weekday, the cross-server Sanguine event, which is pretty much just a multi-floor melee free-for-all, and the cross-server Showdown, which is a one-on-one PvP, the Dragon Soul Fortress, which is a guild event, where you attack monster, or you defend your fortress against monsters, and you get a ton of resources from that. Mainly Elysian and Sprite resources. Guild League is where you fight other guilds in kind of a capture the flag domination type battle map for really nice rewards and celestial equipment chests if you're the guild leader. So hopefully you trust your guild leader to be fair. The world boss is pretty cut and dry. Cross-server Dragon, now this used to be Dragon Slayer, this is by itself with the auctions, but more or less this starts in the morning, runs till 8 o'clock. Make sure you do it even if you can't kill it, because you will get some gems from it, and is definitely worthwhile because they stack over time. Guild Feast, twice a week, excuse me, it's on the weekends now. Kind of waste of time, but you do get some experience from it, and they added chests to it where you get a few different resources, but overall you really just stand around in a circle and hang out for 15 minutes or whatever it is, and get some extra experience. The altar dominance, unless you're a top player on your server, this is just going to be a frustrating one. Long story short, you go to the Sacred Realm and you go to a given floor and try to take over the center statue. You have to click on it and it takes forever to go around to occupy it. You got to fend off other opposing guilds, servers, everything else. So I don't even bother with it, because there's a few players out there on other servers that are just ridiculously strong, and it's just not worth my time. But the Battle of Hejimi or whatever you want to say is the new one here for us, and pretty cool. I'm gonna make a separate, more in-depth video, but long story short, your guild leader or vice leader places a bid on an outside level 1 fortress that you go ahead and either fight against a monster if nobody else tries to put a bid on it, or you fight against them and defend it if they're trying to take it from you, and then so on and so forth. So the next event, these two will fight for this one, and then all 4 of these will fight for the level 3, okay? And each one brings different rewards, and there is a shop for that goes ahead and they put into the actual game. So let's just go ahead and look at that really quick while I have it up, because I'm about wrapping this one up here for the territory shop. That has some cool stuff here for you. But as you see, a lot of the higher prizes, you have to be in the final tower, which, as you probably know, your cross server is very, very competitive and pretty tough. But overall, some things here for you that, they just added in, excuse me, and can help you get a little extra resources. But other than that, make sure you're doing your bosses, your personal bosses, and 1 Dark Ruins run a day. Boss layer, if you can, based on VIP level, make sure you do that, especially now that they added soul stones or set stones or whatever you want to call them, spirit stones, excuse me, to every boss kill. So that's, honestly, I get more running through those than I do from a Dark Ruins run, and it's technically free. Even though you can increase your time by 30 minutes twice for 100 rubies each time. But just want to give you a little snippet of what I grind out every day, how I do it, my thoughts behind it, to make sure I capitalize on the most resources. Couple extra little things now that are popping in my head. Make sure you do your free treasure hunts. I know it seems tedious and pointless and the rewards aren't that great, but any free resource is a free resource. So make sure you go ahead and doing that there. If you're going to trade, save the opposing spirit stones, mainly weapons, chest pieces, and sometimes leggings from other opposing characters. Meaning if you're a warrior, save them for the archer and the mage, and sell them in there for the lowest amount of currency. So it's an easy way. You will find the higher end players that do spend a lot of money in a pinch will buy these, not often, depending on your server, but it's an easy way to acquire a few diamonds here and there for not having to spend any money. Other than that, make sure you go ahead and clear out and donate to your guild for the guild treasury flags and upgrade your stats in the guild lab. Store your resources, as I mentioned before, and which came quite prominent in the last resource event, why we do so. And you can spend, just so you know, wedding ring resources, artifact resources, mount shield resources aren't part of the resource event, so make sure you're using those at your whim. And then, the God Soul and Tyrant Soul videos, watch those separately and kind of explain that there for you. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next episode.